So there are two things I'm going to address as to why I think Demon Slayer, while it has these Shintoist and Buddhist influences, is indeed a Christian anime. The first is its portrayal of demons, which is complex, and I'll explain my reasoning over that. And the second is regarding that beautiful familial bond between the main character Tanjiro and his little sister Nezuko. If you are yet to watch Demon Slayer, please do be aware that I'm diving into plenty of spoilers today, so do be warned. Let's first address the concept of demons in this anime because it's problematic and not problematic at the same time. The way demons work here is that the big bad guy takes his blood and transfuses it with a human, then that human becomes a demon according to this anime, so the concept is actually closer to the fictional idea of a vampire, where they're unique because they are beings which derive their existence from humans, i.e. they need a human to become a demon. And yeah, I wish this anime was like Sousou no Frieren, where demons are definitely bad and we should get rid of them, but Demon Slayer is largely influenced by Japanese culture and religious beliefs regarding these beings. I was actually informed that the Japanese word being used here, oni, doesn't really have a good English translation, so when translators just use the word demon in order to translate that word, the word oni is then unfortunately lost in translation. So when we have Nezuko transforming into a demon and Tanjiro wanting to protect her, with that context of the definition previously provided, it's not so bad because they're not saying we should protect demons in the same way that we as Christians have that concept as a demon. When there are apparently good demons in this anime like Tamayo, they're not saying that demons, using the Christian definition, can be good. It's just some demons in this anime, because they used to be human, are able to live lifestyles similar to humans. So for the Christian, how can we interpret this? How do we interpret these demons being presented to us in this anime? And there are three demons which are shown to us throughout the first season, which influences the way I'm interpreting what these demons actually are. The first is the hand demon, who holds a deep hatred for humans. It's incredibly brutal in the way it eats its human prey, and at first, as we're assessing this scenario, we're all rooting for Tanjiro to absolutely destroy this guy so that this evil is purged from the land. Then the battle happens, the hand demon is defeated, yet the interesting thing that Demon Slayer does is that every time a demon dies, this anime gives us a small flashback to what the demon was like when they were still a human. And it's in that flashback as the hand demon dies that he reverts to his child self, a time before he became a demon, and he calls out for his older brother to come to him and protect him. Remember how this anime conceives how these demons come about in the first place. Big bad demon guy comes along, injects his blood into a human, causing that human to become a demon. The difference between the human and the demon, and note, I'm not saying this was intentional on the part of the author of Demon Slayer, I'm just using a Christian worldview to theorize how these events of this anime are happening in the first place. We as humans are made in the image of God, and we have the capacity to do so much good and to do so much bad with the things that make us made in the image of God, with our body, our hands, our thoughts, our brain. Yet there's something removed from the demons in this anime which causes them to be more tempted to act in congruence with sin. The thing that makes us as humans do good things, stuff like the conscience, the law of God which is written in our hearts, the leading of the Holy Spirit, that seems to be removed from the demons in this anime. So the hand demon has a desire. It has a desire for protection, hence why we see his child self call out for his older brother. That's the base desire which he has had as a human, and his transformation into a demon allowed him to fulfill this desire without any guardrails to stop him. I think there's a reason his demon form is modeled in this way, with the hands protecting all of his vital organs, including his neck, which is the key weak spot for the demon. And that's what I think the demons of this anime can be an allegory for. It's this notion that without contextualizing one's desires, without first desiring God, then the pursuit of one's desires leads to humans to do incredibly terrible things. The desire for protection is good, don't get me wrong, but for the Christian, if it is done in a way which only serves the self and doesn't serve in the glorification of God, then it's not a good desire to have as all. This concept can be more clearly seen with two other demons we're introduced to in the second half of the first season. Kyogai is a demon where his body has drums embedded into him, and these drums grant him special abilities to fight back against the demon slayers. However, we find out about his backstory that when he was a human, he desired recognition. He was lambasted again and again and again for his terrible writing and was bullied by what looks like to be a guy with a mentor kind of role over him, and his apparent mentor suggests for him to stop writing altogether and to just focus on his drumming skills instead. So all of this resentment for people who don't recognize his skills is what leads to Kyogai to unalive the guy bullying him, and he fully transforms into a demon. And this rage is certainly present when we see him fight Tanjiro as he seeks this recognition for which he so desires, though I hope you can see what I've pointed out. Kyogai is seeking recognition, that's his desire, and he's trying to find peace in that in a place which isn't ever going to give that to him, and it's reflected in his appearance that his body has the one thing that he's holding onto, the one thing that his identity is built on as an artist, as a drummer. Yet the tragic thing is, this guy may at one point get that recognition, but it ain't gonna give him that peace that only God can provide. So it's cool that when Kyogai is defeated, Tanjiro actually does recognize that Kyogai played the drums on his body skillfully, though I think it's at that moment as he dies, he realizes he may have been chasing after the wrong thing. Though this theme of desire is best exemplified in the demon Rui, whose desire is for family. He desires a bond that he never had as a human, so just like the other demons previously mentioned, he seeks to fulfill his desire through any means necessary, whether the methods be sinful or not. He goes so far to create a false family by recruiting other demons to become part of this thing he's making. He tries to maintain a grip on these people he's recruited through fear and torture and punishment, and it's cruel. The fact that he recruits these people to become a pretend sibling, a pretend mother, a pretend father, and for those who want to escape or defy the authority of Rui, there are terrible consequences that come as a result of that, as evident with the look on Rui's pretend family's faces. When Rui was human, he lost his family as a result of being transformed into a demon, so it's no surprise that he does desire genuine connection, relationship, and love from family members, but the manner that he pursues such a desire, just like the rest of the demons, is reflective of a person who has no guardrails and doesn't have any regard for the idea of sin and shame, and reflects a person who pursues their desires without first contextualizing that desire with first serving God. That's the Christian theme I think we're able to take out of the conception of demons in this anime, which makes it all the more good when we see Nezuko, who has been transformed into a demon, after which we see her literally in the first episode have this bodily desire to eat flesh, to attack a human at the sight of blood, and she does attempt to do that at first, and she almost kills Tanjiro as a result, though we see Tanjiro make a plea to protect her, and with every ounce of emotion in his body, he performs this great display of love in order to try and get her away from Tomioka so as not to be killed. And it's with that Nezuko then does this shocking thing by attempting to protect her brother from the wrath of the demon slayer. Then we see this time and time again, even though she has blood coursing through her veins which predisposes her to sin, to unalive in order to sustain herself, she stops herself time and time again from attacking humans, even though that temptation is so present within her. And I would cite as the main reason for that being that incredible bond between the two siblings as the main determinant for Nezuko to be acting in this way. We read in 1 Peter 4:8, Peter's desire that above all that Christians keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. It's because of love for one's neighbor, that one doesn't sin against them. And to see that play out in Nezuko's experience in this anime is the cherry on top for this video's thesis. There are other Christian themes which you can draw from Demon Slayer, such as this notion of decisiveness and acting upon it. Like, it's really annoying in the first half of the season how Tanjiro just lacks any notion of initiative and movement moving while things are happening around him, the number of times where people are being hurt while Tanjiro just stands idly by happens a lot. And then we see in particular during the arc with the spider demons where those consequences become really clear, where his lack of decisiveness has led to the death of 3 of his peers. So Tanjiro's arc and development as a character is not only through his physical training, but in the hands-on experience as he gains in actually responding to the demon threats happening all over Japan. Though as I've hopefully articulated well, it is in this anime's conception of demons as what can be interpreted as an allegory for humans who immerse themselves in sin, as well as its portrayal of this precious familial love between Tanjiro and Nezuko. It is in these themes that I'm happy to say that Demon Slayer is a Christian anime. If you're interested in another shonen anime that I've covered on the channel, you might want to watch my video on Fire Force.